10 seconds remaining.
Alright, welcome
5
back everyone. We've got
seconds
game 3 set to start here as we've got compLexity going up against Team Archon once again. As we saw Team Archon take game 1 in a ridiculously long match, 2 hours and 11 minutes. compLexity then took game 2 in a significantly shorter match of 34 minutes. And now we're set for game 3, which if we try and do the math and figure out the trends there, it's definitely not linear because then we'll have the game would already be over.
5 seconds
But, that's
remaining.
clearly not the case. But I expect us to have probably a more normal-sized length game
turn to
rather than one of those super long ones again. But we've got an interesting difference in the draft, and we'll get into that in just a second. Well, we need to find out who's going to go up against Digital Chaos in round 2.
5 seconds.
Guys, I'm Niz, and I'm going to be talking you through the action here as we've got Invoker and Death Prophet getting banned out by compLexity. Wisp and Gyrocopter were the bans for Team Archon. And then with the first pick, Team Archon picked Bane. So stealing that from compLexity, stealing that from Handskin. As compLexity have shown that they love picking that hero, and Handskin does a pretty damn good job playing it every game. But this time Team Archon is going to snag that from them, and there was a long time where Bane was a tier 1. I mean, we still see him being a tier 1 pick, but he was a tier 1 ban. He was getting banned out pretty much every single game in that first round. So I'm sure compLexity knows how to play around that and draft around that, as they've picked up the Spirit Breaker and the Lina once again. We saw both those heroes on their roster last game.
10 seconds remaining.
Then Archon picked up the Enchantress, a hero that we've seen
5 seconds
kind of
remaining.
rise to this ridiculous popularity in terms of the Americas
Reserve time.
competitive scene, as that was popularized by IX Mike. And although Team Freedom has been eliminated, they still have the IX Mike Enchantress making a stamp on these Shanghai major qualifiers. As Team Archon is going to pick that one up. Then we move into our next set of bans. We've got Oracle and Templar Assassin banned out by compLexity Gaming. Then Juggernaut and Darkseer were the bans for Team Archon, as compLexity now pick up Crystal Maiden, the Crystal Lady. Let it go. As we've got the two sisters, the Crystal Maiden and the Lina. I don't know if they're actually sisters, but they might be sisters in lore. I have no idea. I don't keep up with the lore stuff. I don't know anything about the relationship between different heroes. But they're going to go with the Crystal Maiden. So it's going to be a Handskin Crystal Maiden. We expect Z-Freak to be on that Spirit Breaker again. Maybe they're going to run Limp on the Lina. Maybe this time they'll put it in the mid lane instead of putting it safe lane, because I mean, Chessie didn't really get too much out of that mid lane, but he was able to catch up. I shouldn't say he didn't get too much. It was Whitebeard camping him in the mid lane, so he kind of fell behind. But then as Whitebeard had to rotate around because Moo was doing so terribly in the off lane, then Chessie was able to get some more space and was able to do a lot more in the mid lane and catch back up in terms of CS. And Limp in the top lane on the Lina was able to free farm away and was the most farmed hero in the early game. I think I remember a moment where Limp was at 60-something CS, and the closest second place was at 40-something. So, yeah, Limp got a pretty significant lead early on in that game. We just saw him snowball out of control, but pretty much everyone on the side of compLexity was snowballing out of control. So they had a pretty big lead. I think it was 12k, or certainly past the 10k. It might have even been 15k for all I remember, but I think that was right around the 20-minute mark. They were just kind of running all over Archon and never really looked back. You just kind of had this sense that Archon was just like, whoa, sitting back, like couldn't really do much of anything because compLexity just had complete control of the game. But Archon's going to pick a relatively strong early game hero in the Undying to add on. As that certainly makes things interesting, because we've got a Bane and an Undying as the two supports. We expect the Enchantress to be the offlaner for Archon.
Beastmaster.
And now compLexity, they pick up their offlaner with the Beastmaster.
Turn to pick.
This is one of the Swindle signature heroes. As Archon, it's either going to be their mid laner or the safe laner.
Ten seconds remaining.
Who are they going to pick?
5 seconds remaining.
Lone Druid, alright.
Complexity's turn to
Archon Lone Druid. And I think that's kind of exposing a potential weakness in Complexity's draft because they don't really have that much
10 seconds
right-click damage
remaining.
to really bring down a bear or a second bear.
5 seconds remaining.
You know, we saw a lot of right-click damage coming out from Limp last game on the Lina, but for the most part, you need some more to back that up if you're really going to want to be able to burn down a bear. And we've got only 2 sources of range damage that are going to be able to attack the Tombstone. So I kind of expect Complexity to pick up another ranged
10
hero
seconds remaining.
to fill out their final role, whether that's the mid laner or a safe laner. We
5
still don't know where they're going to run
seconds
that Lina.
Reserve
Viper's the
time.
final ban for Complexity. Phantom Lancer is the ban for Team Archon.
Complexity's turn to pick.
It could have been something like the Phantom Lancer to go a little bit later. It doesn't give you the range to deal with the Tombstone, but typically, I don't know. It's hard because early on, it's kind of okay for them to be attacking the Tombstone, but as you get later and later in the game, since that change, and I believe it was 686, they changed the
10
Undying
seconds
Tombstone
remaining.
to be based on the number of attacks, not HP.
5 seconds
You really
remaining.
don't want your hard carry attacking it unless you're a gyrocopter. Then you pop flak and you attack the
Reserve
Tombstone. You're
time.
still participating in the fight.
Ten seconds remaining.
Wait and see what Complexity
5
is going to pick
seconds
up.
remaining.
Bristleback.
Team Archon's
So
turn
they're going to put the
pick.
Lina in the mid lane and then run the Bristleback in the safe lane. That's a good solid source of damage. It's also a way that you're going to be able to deal some damage to the Enchantress without having to worry about her aura. Or not her aura, her passive. That slows your attacks. And, you know, you're going to actually have a decent attack speed because of the Beastmaster aura. But
10
you've got a
seconds
Bristleback that's going to
remaining.
be able to deal damage to the Enchantress through that. And then, of course, the Lina's got the Laguna
5
to also
seconds
burn through
remaining.
the Enchantress if needed. They have ways with dealing with the Enchantress. It's also going to give you a lot of sustain in the
Reserve
fight. A lot
time.
of damage is going to be coming out. You can even really get in there and attack the Tombstone if need be. How's Archon going to round out their lineup?
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds
Bat
remaining.
Rider. Bat Rider. You put this Bat Rider mid? Huh. Bat Rider. I mean, I guess you could put it mid against the Lina. That'll work. And then you safe lane your Lone Druid. The Undying and the Bane down there. You could always put the Lone Druid mid. I'm not too sure if I like that, though. Especially because that would leave the Bat Rider safe lane against the
10
Beastmaster,
seconds
which...
remaining.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's a
5
Bat Rider
seconds
mid against the
remaining.
Lina. It's weird, but we're going to see it. The return of the Bat Rider to the mid lane. As we hop on into Game 3 here of Archon versus Complexity. As we're looking to finish up round 1 of the upper
Prepare
bracket
for battle.
of the playoffs for the Americas playoffs for the Shanghai Major Qualifier. We've got Archon Fluff. He's going to be playing the Bane. Monkeys Forever going to be on the potentially mid Batrider. Whitebeard's going to be playing the Undying Moo, offlane Enchantress. And Jayo's going to be playing the Lone Druid. As for our dire side, it's Team compLexity, and their captain Swindles is going to be playing the Beastmaster. Chessie's going to be on the Bristleback. Limp on that Lina once again. Same with Z-Freak, as he's going to be playing the Spirit Breaker once again. And then we've got Handskin on the very, very slow Crystal Maiden lagging behind his team. He's going to be, like I said, playing the Crystal Maiden. It's not that his hero's that slow. He moved up to the top lane to get an Observer Ward up for them. Archon also once again moved out, but didn't really do anything. They're just sitting there and camping the top rune. As Jayo's doing some scouting with his bear, he does find 2 boars. But yeah, he'll stay back, and we'll have both teams split the first bounty runes, as we expect Monkeys and Limp to get those runes.
The battle begins.
And that's exactly what will happen. Is looks like we're actually going to have both the Enchantress and the Undying up in the top lane. They're going to be going up against just a Bristleback? No, I think the Crystal Maiden's going to make her way up there. Maybe even stop and do one of the camps for a fast level 2. Hanskin may choose to do that. Mid lane is going to be the Batrider going up against the Lina. And then the bottom lane is going to be the Lone Druid and the Bane going up against the Beastmaster and the Spirit Breaker. Hanskin starting to make his way up. There's Whitebeard doing a little bit of counter warding, finding that Observer Ward and getting rid of it. Is making sure that they're going to have access to this camp. Interesting to see the kind of start that that Chessie has here, because I think that he's actually going to be quite important for compLexity. As Z-Freak once again not making it easy for Fluff and stuff, constantly on top of him in the early phase. We saw him doing the same thing on the Spirit Breaker last game up against the Fluff and Stuff Vengeful Spirit.
Never in 10,000 years.
And we've seen Swindle dominate in terms of CS early on in the game. Not too sure if he's going to be able to do it on the Beastmaster this time, but we'll see. Jayo should be able to control that lane quite well with the Lone Druid. Make it very easy for him to get last hits.
Tower is under
As
attack.
there is a dive in the top lane, we'll have to jump up there and look at that. As they're going to dive past the Tier 1 tower and try to go on Chessie here, but don't really have an opening, but they will interrupt the pull. Swindle's now getting harassed a little bit in the bottom lane, but we see Archon dominating the last hits. Start things off, and now we're going to have Monkeys Forever get the first rune of the game, as it's going to be a haste. Limp doesn't have his... Oh, sorry, he's bottle crowing. No, doesn't have his bottle yet. Oh, that's because he went with the boots first. Note that Fluff's picked up a TP scroll early on. And that's to deal with the fact that the Spirit Breaker can just charge away and charge somewhere. But we saw in previous matches, wards somewhere down around this area that helps give you vision and let you know when Z-Freak is charging and where he's going. And that allows you to respond a little bit better. We don't see a ward like that coming out from Archon. They've only devoted the one Observer Ward to the mid lane, which kind of gives you vision of him coming in, but it's not very much advanced warning, so Fluff's going to have to be quick reacting there. But he should know, because he's kind of constantly keeping tabs on Z-Freak here.
First blood.
As I actually see a trade in the mid lane. As Limp and Monkeys Forever both go down, but Limp is the one who gets the first blood there. So compLexity once again with first blood. It's just taking a quick look at the last hits, as we've actually had Swindle Melons once again up top, but he's actually tied now with Jayo at 14 and 2. As the T-Tours get dropped in chat, I apologize.
Gotcha.
As for this top lane, looks like Enchantress seems to be farming away pretty easily. 15 to 1 CS for her. Chessie, what is he sitting at? 10 and 2 on the Bristleback. Tombstone's going to get dropped as they're going to dive past the tier 1 tower again. Whitebeard losing a lot of HP here as he'll try to get a kill there, and he will with the decay, but now he's diving under the tower and will not be able to TP out as the Quill Spray comes out from the Bristleback to finish him off. So yeah, they get the kill on the Crystal Maiden, but it cost them their Undying. As Fluff tried to make a rotation there towards the mid, but Limp was there with the stun. Z-Freak is also here. Might even charge down into the bottom lane as... Well, they might wait. It's going to charge, but I don't think they'll be able to get a kill here unless they get some ridiculously lucky Bash procs. But we've seen some crazy stuff before from Spirit Breakers. Not going to see it here. But Swindles now will get entangled up as... Well, they wanted the RNG going their way, but instead it goes the other way, and another entangle! As this is what happens when Lone Druid players pick Lone Druid. They just get entangle procs all the damn time. So they almost end up with 2 kills there, but Z-Freak was able to charge away. We take a look at mid lane again, and we see it's still dead even. 21-0 CS for Limp, 20-2 CS for Monkeys Forever. So that's pretty much split between the two teams. We do see that advantage in the top lane of the Enchantress, getting a little bit more farm than the Bristleback, but only 7 CS going her way. Whereas in the bottom lane, we see it pretty much dead even as well between the Beastmaster and the Lone Druid. So the top lane is pretty much the only thing separating these two teams. Obviously XP is going to be a little bit different as well. But in terms of last hit, it's pretty much just barely in favor of Archon. It's now that deep observer ward that they have in the compLexity jungle, spotting out Z-Freak charging on in. This observer ward is going to be quite valuable for them for that reason. But Hanskin is still going to get a freeze off here on Whitebeard. They're going to drop the Tombstone. Chessie's already quite well low, as they're going to bring in a creep that was hiding in the top to try and cut him off, but it was just a little bit too late getting there. As Whitebeard will get frozen on up. Z-Freak now left to get the right clicks. His Limp, how did he even get here? He just appears out of nowhere and he comes and collects a kill. Keeps Chessie alive, and then, oh, no, not able to get the gold for killing the Tombstone. As the neutral creeps, my goodness, almost killing Chessie there, dropping him down to 3 HP. But he'll live, and now Fluff going to place another one of these very forward observer wards. It'll help them spot out that Spirit Breaker charging on in, and now Z-Freak's going to get rid of one of those because it was placed in the mid lane where they saw it. They saw it get placed thanks to, well, the tower vision, but also the vision from their own observer ward. So Fluff needs to be careful down here with just him, as JO's doing the pull camp. And if Z-Freak's able to charge down here, it should be an easy kill with them having Primal Roar now that the Beastmaster's level 6. After what just happened in the top lane, that little confrontation, I have to say that Chessie has kind of caught back up in terms of last hits. He's only 2 behind Moo now, but he's got to have more gold under his belt. Sitting at 1-0-1, whereas Moo, he's at 0-0-1, but still hasn't really gotten enough out of the kills. As Chessie's gotten the upper hand there, but this first tier 1 tower going down is definitely going to be a huge advantage for him. This is one of the things that we see coming up from the Enchantresses. Now that you can actually control the enemy siege creep. When the catapults spawn and they start coming down the lane, when they actually come to the point where they confront? They actually fight each other? I don't know. There's a word there. Then you can just enchant that up, and then you've got 2 catapults going your way, which makes your push even stronger. Monkeys Forever comes down to the bottom lane. He pops the smoke. I'm not sure if he wanted to get Fluff in that, but either way, it's not going to be needed. He's going to Firefly, blink on in, get the lasso off onto Swindles, and it's a free kill for Archon as they're going to now push down this tier 1 tower. And compLexity probably going to go for the mid tier 1. But I don't think they're going to have enough damage to bring it down, especially with Moo TPing here. So Archon gets 2 early tier 1 towers as they look to try to take control of this early game. And it's a little bit early, but we'll switch over to net worth. As we still have Limp leading the way, 4,300. And as I say that, Jo just barely passes them as they're both pretty much locked dead even at 4,300. He's now up to 1,800 gold. Hasn't picked up his Tranquils or his Phase Boots for the bear, just regular boots on both. But then it's going to be Monkeys Forever in 3rd place at 4,100. Then it's a little ways down before we see Moo at 3k, and then he's pretty much dead even with Chessie, who's also at 3k. And it's Swindle at 27 to round out the last core. We do see the 2 supports on Archon getting a little bit more out of the early game than their opponents, as it's about a 500 gold lead for each of them.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Now Archon will look to extend their lead a little bit here by getting some damage on the mid tier 1, but compLexity is going to TP on in.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh, are they going to go here? No. Looks like they'll probably back away as Whitebeard just heals himself up with a Soul Rip. Z-Freak. He's ready to charge on in, but they need to be wary of Monkeys Forever jumping on in. Now that he's just bottled up
Radiant's bottom tower
a haste rune, that's going to be even better for them. Well, looks like everyone will back away as we'll bring up our gold graph, and oh, no, we won't. As Chessie was starting to charge forward. He's going to get nightmared up, and they're going to switch that off to the boar. Z-Freak charging on Jo, but now he needs to get back, because he's quickly going to be closed in on by the other heroes of Archon as he
Radiant's middle
goes
tower
to
is
the
under
Radiant
attack.
Jungle, where he meets up with Limp and Handskin. As Monkeys Forever's popped the Firefly. He's looking for a kill here, and pause comes out as Monkeys Forever once again will disconnect from the game and lag out as he was ready to engage there, and unfortunately this keeps coming at really bad moments. But I was mentioning that we're going to take a look at our gold graph, where I expect we're going to just see a slight lead for Archon, probably about 2k or so. And wow, not bad, not bad, not bad. Just barely over 2,000 gold in favor of Archon. And XP, we can't see. But we know it's got to be very close to 0. It could be in favor of compLexity. As actually, we can cheat and see that it's only 10 in favor of compLexity, or in favor of Archon. What about the gold? Man, I was really close with that 2k guess. We have Monkeys Forever just rejoining, so we should be unpaused soon. compLexity's Limp is pretty far away from this fight, but he'll be there in a couple seconds as we're going to resume as Chessie's in a whole lot of pain here. As Primal Roar is going to come out, it's going to be cast on the Fluff as Chessie's going to be attacking the Tombstone, and the first blood will be spilled on Fluff and stuff as Handskin and Chessie both going to go down. Fluff's actually going to buy back into this game as Jo will just barely be able to TP out at 20 HP. And now compLexity's going to try to get out of here. They're going to lose Swindle. Z-Freak's going to charge down to the bottom lane, and Limp, he also bought back in that fight, didn't he? Did I see that? No, it was Chessie who died, right. I was thinking, Limp, how did Limp die so early in the fight?
Dire's middle tower is under
No,
attack.
not the case. It was just the one buyback, and that was on
Radiant's
Fluff and
bottom
stuff.
tower is under attack.
But that fight was definitely in favor of Archon in terms of hero kills, but with that buyback on Fluff, it's probably going to make it a little bit more even. But Jo was so close to dying. If compLexity got that kill, that would have been a pretty big win for them in the fight. Losing Chessie definitely hurt them. He did get the gold from the Tombstone as well, though. And now he's going to get a good amount of gold from the stack. He's already picked up the Vanguard. We've got the Tranquils on this Crystal Maiden. Spirit Breaker's just got the urn. Lena's got the Yule Scepter, which just gets delivered by the courier now. We've almost got the Necro Book complete on Swindle. He's sitting at 900, just needs a recipe to complete that. As for our Radiant side, we've got Fluff sitting at just boots and a stick. Jo, he's up to 2,900 gold. Jill's still just the brown boots, Orb of Venom, Ring of Bassy, and then of course the Iron Talon. Oh. Fluff in trouble, gonna get stunned up, Dragon Slaved, Laguna. And it's a kill for Limp. As Moo's picked up his drums, he's got treads as well. Whitebeard, he's got his arcanes as well as a cloak. And Monkeys Forever, we saw him pick up the blink much earlier and use it to great effect. And now he's also going to have a Force Staff as well. Still actually running around with his brown boots.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
We typically see Bat Riders upgrade their boots pretty early in the game, whether they go with Tranquils or Boots of Travel. But, he'll probably upgrade that as his next item. Well, this isn't really a position that we've seen complexity in this series so far. They've pretty much been able to dominate the lanes and then take some quick towers after that. Now they actually find themselves down in towers. They've lost 2. They've only claimed 0. But they're getting some damage in, so they're a little bit behind in tower gold. We see them largely play based on that early laning phase and then taking those towers and then starting to take control of the map. But with all those towers up, they're not really going to be able to take control of that map. And they're not going to have that tower gold advantage. It'll be interesting to see how complexity is able to deal with this. Swindle's actually going to TP down to the bottom lane as complexity prepares to take this bottom tier 1. And it looks like they've probably outmaneuvered Archon here. As this tier 1 tower looks like it should be free, although Archon's coming down the lane. They've smoked up, but it's just Monkeys Forever and Jo, and now they're actually going to TP in a couple heroes. It's the Undying, and it's actually all of them. It's going to be a full 5-man fight as Handskin's actually going to get grabbed by the lasso. Limp's going to toss the Bat Rider up in the air and then finish him off. No, actually not going to be able to finish him off. Great heal coming up from Whitebeard there, keeping Monkeys Forever alive. And now it's Chessie who's going to go down as this is a disaster for complexity. It's just Z-Freak alive. As he's going to try to run away, and I think he will be able to do so. As the Necro Minions will get cleaned up there. Moo taking control of the red one. We were able to kill the other one to get that extra gold. But that was a huge team fight win for Archon. Now they're going to look to get a tower on the back of it. And I was thinking that maybe complexity had outmaneuvered them and it was going to be an easy tier 1 tower. Maybe complexity were thinking the same.
Gold for me.
But Archon had those 2 heroes, the Bat Rider and the Lone Druid, smoked up and running on in. And then they just TP'd 3 in and they had a great start to that fight. And that was a huge heal coming up from Whitebeard. He soul ripped and just barely kept Monkeys Forever alive. And it was in the middle of the Lena combo. But it was definitely a gigantic kill for them. What should have been a kill on the Bat Rider ended up being a Bat Rider that lived, and instead Chessie then became the focus target from Archon.
Dire's middle tower
and the Bristleback
is under
went
attack.
down. Now, upon respawn, complexity comes back down to the bottom lane, and they will get this tier 1 tower, but it's definitely not free. At the same time, Archon gets the mid tier 1. They do have the Radiance up on the bear as well. And now Monkeys Forever is going to find Z-Freak. They're going to use the Fiend's Grip as well, as the Spirit Breaker is going to go down. And now with the Spirit Breaker dead, I think complexity can't really come back and defend, so they're going to have to go for a split here and try to trade tier 2s.
Radiant structures are fortified.
But Archon's going to win the race there. And now are they going to start going up high ground? No, they're going to go up to the top lane.
Is under attack.
Complexity will get that tier 2.
Tower has fallen.
And then they'll TP back as, like I said, Archon going up towards the top lane is I guess they want to keep pushing and go for this tier 2. Crimson Guard now getting picked up by Chessie. And Treads by Z-Freak. Beyond that, still just the Necro 1 from Swindle. And Archon's actually going to back. We almost have the Dragonlance completed by Moo. Beyond that, we've got Whitebeard, who's getting charged right now. And actually Fluff getting stunned up as well. Still will get the Nightmare off. Tombstone now getting dropped, but I think it's so that they can retreat. And Chessie's going to try to right-click it down. Soul Rip's going to keep it alive for a little bit longer. They will eventually get that Tombstone down, but Limp is going to go down. Handskin lets it go, but he just gets focused down. It's a double kill for Jail, might be more, as Chessie's going to get entangled, and Moo's actually going to get the kill there.
Is under attack.
Will they get more? Swindles is going to get chased down. He's the only hero alive on compLexity, and I don't see him getting out of this flame break. Not exactly knocking him back, but they do find the kill there. It's going to be a monster kill for Jail, effectively a triple kill, as it's a full 5-man team wipe for Archon, as they're looking really good to finish this series off with a win here in Game 3, so that they can go on and play up against Digital Chaos. Digital Chaos and Archon, of course, had to play a tiebreaker match to start today off, because they finished 1 and 2 in Group A. However, they were dead tied, so they needed to figure out which team was the first seed and which team was the second seed. And they played a 1-game series, tiebreaker series, which Digital Chaos won. But I wouldn't say count compLexity out of this just yet. But it is going to be a very big uphill battle, because we've got Jo on this Lone Druid. He's getting stronger and stronger. That Radiance is going to do a ton of work for them on top of that. He's just picked up his Vlads. Monkeys Forever's have been having a terrific game on this Batrider, getting some good pickoffs. Still just sitting with brown boots. He's elected to go with the Aether Lens, which is a great pickup for a Batrider as well, giving you that extra cast range on the Flaming Lasso, which is really, really big. If you're a Batrider player, you definitely know what I'm talking about on that one. There's so many times where you can blink in and you're just trying to get the lasso off, but you're just barely a little bit too far. And that Aether Lens is going to give you that extra little bit of range to grab that target. We've also been seeing Whitebeard having a hell of a game on this Undying. He placed that Tombstone, then got the Soul Rip off to keep it healed up, and that just really committed compLexity into the team fight. They had to focus down that Tombstone, and by the time they got it down, they ended up losing their Lina. On the back of that fight, Moo, which we already knew was close to completing his Dragonlance, he ended up completing it. And now he's got a point booster as well. Limp picks up his Shadow Blade again. Saw him
This'll come in handy.
use that a ton last game to try to set up some ganks. Once again, looks like compLexity is going to have to go for a trade, but they're a little scared. They're going to back away. Instead, they're just going to give up their bottom tier 2, and they're not even going to be able to claim this mid tier 1. Fluff was hanging out nearby. Now, will Archon go for Roche? Yeah, they're going to run into Roche Pit. And compLexity, will they be able to challenge here? compLexity, once again, going with some very offensive wards. Draw them on the map. We got 3 in a line here. Even though a lot of vision of the early movements coming out from Archon, and we see Archon actually with very similar curve or line of 3 wards, giving them very similar information. We will see that Roche go down, and Jao's going to be holding on to that Aegis.
Middle tower is under attack.
As this tower starts to get low in the mid from those range creeps. Staff of Wizardry picked up by Moo. Whitebeard almost done his mech as well. He's 180 from completing that. Bluff's going to have a pipe. As action in the top lane is Monkeys Forever's found a target. He's blinked on in. He's got the lasso off on a Z-Freak, who is able to charge away. There was an attack in the air. It will eventually land, as the Spirit Breaker is going to go down. Limp has an Invis rune activated. This is not a Shadow Blade, but he's doing some scouting action. His Necro Book 2 has been completed by Swindles. Chessie's picked up a Sange, so probably an S and Y going to be coming up from him. If you're wondering why they chose to put the Aegis up on the Lone Druid, it's because of the record he's on right now, 8-0-4 on JO. That's a lot of gold going the other way if he were to die in a team fight. So the Aegis will help protect that. They could put it on a different hero that could play a little bit more aggressively in a team fight. The Bat Rider isn't really going to have the room for it. I'm mainly thinking of maybe the Enchantress. But even still, she's going to be pretty tanky.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
We already spoke about it in the draft, how complexity has ways of kind of burning down that Enchantress. But I still feel like putting the Aegis on the Lone Druid is very, very effective. And even if you die, you know, your bear still stays out.
Radiant's top
as long as you've got that Aegis bringing you back up. And certainly with that 8 kill streak, that would be a lot of gold going the way of complexity.
Structures are fortified.
So I think it's a wide choice for them, and now they're going to go for this tier 3. They're even going to drop down the Tombstone. Monkeys Forever once again going to find a lasso on a Swindle Melon as the Beastmaster gets picked off and down. They just have no way of dealing with this Bat Rider. They got the Yule Scepter to toss him up in the air when he jumps in, but Limp was just a little bit too far. Now Chessie is getting focused down as he's going to pop the Crimson Guard. Will he be able to live? No! He's dead. Z-Freak, who charged into the middle of that, was basically left unharmed as he just walks back away, as they were all focusing on Chessie. But now they're focusing on the melee racks as it's going to go down 24 minutes into this game. As Archon in prime position to take game 3 and the series against complexity here. Now the pings are to go out to the top lane and start pushing there. There's a pretty strong creep wave for complexity pushing the bottom lane. As now it's going to get pinged out by Monkeys Forever that maybe they have to go back and defend there, and they're going to send the the Lone Druid back, or at least his bear. And now Archon will look to continually push in the top lane, and maybe even look to end the game here as they're way ahead, 20-5. In terms of hero kills. Z-Freak's going to start charging in, but the Tombstone's already down. Someone's got to focus it. Swindles is going to try to, but Moo's doing so much damage on the low ground with these impetus. As Z-Freak's down, Swindles down, Monkeys Forever once again gets a lasso, and GG will get called. As complexity, they're going to tap out of this game as they lose the series to Archon 2-1. And Archon, they'll go on to play Digital Chaos in our second round of the upper bracket. Well, they'll be going up against Digital Chaos, where they'll look to get a little bit of revenge against Digital Chaos, because as I mentioned earlier, we had a tiebreaker match to start today off, which I didn't cast, but it was a one-game series which Digital Chaos won against Archon. But yeah, as it said in chat, Fluff and Whitebeard versus Owie and Bulba. It's going to be a hell of a game. It's going to be exciting to watch, and we're also saying that Niz still going strong. Well, this will be my final game for today, so I'm not going to be casting that Digital Chaos versus Archon game because, well, I just wasn't feeling very good to start today off after yesterday's very long 10-hour cast. But that first game was pretty taxing on me, being 2 hours and 11 minutes. That was pretty rough, and I'm going to have to, if I expect to continue casting and cast the games tomorrow, I'm going to have to rest my voice a little bit here and recover. But I know there's going to be plenty of other great casters casting some of those the other series, so I'll pass you guys on to them. But yeah, I'm going to have to tap out of this game. We got Archon moving on, and complexity, they're not out. They're not out. They're just moved down to the lower bracket. They'll play again tomorrow, where they'll be playing up against Shazam. And then the winner of that will then go up against the loser of Digital Chaos versus Archon. And then whoever wins that will go to the Shanghai Major. And of course, whoever wins the next series coming up between Archon and DC will go to the Shanghai Major as well. But yeah, that's going to be it for me tonight, guys. Once again, always, thanks so much for watching. And we'll be live again tomorrow. I believe those matches are starting at 5:30, maybe? Maybe? Yeah, my schedule that I see shows 5:30. So I'll keep my eye out for that, and I'll be live casting those games with Shazam versus the loser. Or sorry, Shazam versus compLexity, excuse me. And yeah, we'll see you guys then. But until then, that's it for me, guys. Have a good night, and we'll see you again tomorrow.